What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Kings of CONCACAF podcast. I'm your host, Nate, and today we're going to be talking about the U.S. men's national team game against Jamaica. So it just ended about 30 minutes ago, and I'm just going to kind of talk about my thoughts with the game, how it went, the good, the bad, and the really bad. Was not impressed by this performance at all. Can't blame it on Greg. The guys just didn't play well. I don't want to hear Greg getting blamed because it's an easy cop out, or the pitch wasn't good, or whatever. It's easy cop outs. Like, no one played well. Even Tim Weah, who scored the goal, that was a great goal, fantastic goal, but he was the only bright spot, and he kind of disappeared in the second half. And he disappeared in parts of the game where no one really played exceptionally well. We were lucky to get a point. We were lucky to get a point. We should have lost that game. So I guess that's the one positive maybe you can take from this. Obviously, that's an exaggeration. There's some positives you can take from this, but I think the biggest is that we were able to get at least 1 point because we played so poorly that I don't even know if we deserved the point. All right, so just going to note what I had written down. Pregame lineup looks great. Greg finally put players in places where they should be playing and didn't pick favorites. So the two changes from the Mexico game were Chris Richards in for Miles Robinson and Busio in for Weston McKennie. So, do I think that Busio played really well? No, I don't think he played really well. I think he played okay. Wasn't super impressed by him. Richards, he played fine. Like, he wasn't bad by any chance, but I wasn't like overly impressed by him. So yeah, it is what it is. Just no one really played very well. First 5 minutes, were average, not necessarily good or bad, just kind of flat. I feel like that's how they played all game. They just played so flat, and I think that also has to do with the fact that there's no people in the stadium because even when you're away, when you play with no fans in the stadium after you just came from Cincinnati with a sold out crowd of 20,000 people all supporting the United States. It's just kind of an odd probably situation for them because the atmosphere in Cincinnati was outrageous. It was so loud and people were getting so engaged with in the game, and now you come to Jamaica and basically nothing goes right. There's no fans. The pitch is messed up, which I don't want to blame it on the pitch because it was bad, yes, but that's not why they lost. So, yeah. 11th minute was an unbelievable goal by Tim Weah. He beat like three guys or four guys or whatever it was to then end up scoring. So that was great. That was like basically our only chance. I shouldn't say our only, because we had another good chance a couple minutes later, but we didn't really have like that many good chances at all in this game. We played so flat all game. Like it's frustrating. It's just frustrating. That's like one way to put, like seemingly the only way to put it. Just didn't play inspired, and it just makes me like super frustrated because like we can't play consistent. Like, it seems to me that whenever we play, if we have a fantastic game, just like we did against Mexico, we dominated Mexico. And then we come into this game and look like if we had played Mexico tonight, we would have lost 5-0. So I don't know. We're lucky to come away with a point. We need to fix our consistency. I forget who said it, but I think it was the sideline reporter. I forget her name, but she had said that she was curious to know kind of what was happened because the second game of the window we haven't played well. So I mean, first window of September we did not play very well against Canada. It's tied. Second game of October window lost to Panama, and second game of this window we drew to Jamaica. So yeah, I mean, if we go back to the adage that we need to just at minimum draw games away from home, then whatever, it's fine. But Jamaica are a team that aren't like that good. Their defense is not that good. Their midfield is not that good. Obviously, they have Antonio and Bailey and Andre Blake. They have some quality players, but we should win after the way we played against Mexico. We should thump that team, and that's how it looked like at the beginning. Once Weah basically walked through the team, I was like, oh, okay, like we're fine. We're gonna winning this game. And then the second Antonio scored, they fell like so unbelievably flat, and it was bad. Like they couldn't. I don't think they were expecting to like lose. It was almost like a mental thing that they played so well against Mexico. They didn't think there was any chance they would lose, and then they played down to the competition and drew to a Jamaica side who they should have beaten. I understand it's Jamaica, but judging by how well they played against Mexico, they should have easily handled that team. So yeah, just 16th minute, there was two good saves, one by a defender and one by Blake. Tonight, Pepe and Erinson a goal. Anthony Robinson, oh my goodness, he had such a good October camp. And September camp he played well too. But wow, he looked very bad today. He looked better. He didn't look awful in the game against Mexico, but he didn't look very good in the game against Mexico either. He was just kind of pretty average. He had some moments of good, some moments of not so good, but he struggled very significantly today. Pepe, I said at the beginning of the game, he looked much better on the ball. He was doing a good job of being the target man. First touch has been cleaner. That wasn't necessarily the case in the rest of that game. But you know, I think he's still young, so you can't really criticize him that hard. Obviously, you have to hold players to a standard, but I don't know. He's still young, so he can only really go up from here. 21st minute, poor challenge against Erinson. I think it was low. I'm pretty sure it was low. He basically studs up Erinson, in his shin, and no card given. I think Mo Adu had said it should be a red. I don't know if it's necessarily red. I understand it's a bad tackle, studs up into the shin, but he did get some of the ball. So that's why I don't necessarily think it was red. If it was given a red, I wouldn't necessarily be super surprised. But if I was the ref there, I probably would have given him a yellow. Just because of 22nd minute, it was a bad challenge, but it was his first challenge. And Erinson wasn't even hurt. I think he got hit he must have hit his shin guard or something like that, because Erinson he was hurt obviously, but he got up seemingly unaffected. And then right after that, Mikel Antonio scored the banger. And I saw people saying that Matt Turner would save that. No, he wouldn't have. I'm sorry. Matt Turner would not have saved that. There's nothing you can do. 34 yards out, and he scored an absolute banger in the top right corner. No one is saving that shot. I'm sorry. No one's saving that shot. I mean, obviously, Neuer could maybe save that shot. There's goalies that can, but there's nothing that Zach Steffen or Matt Turner could have done, or anyone in our pool could have done. Horvath or Sean Johnson or Brad Guzan, any of the goalies that have been called into the national team in the past year would have not saved that. So obviously Matt Turner is a good shot stopper, but so is Zach Steffen. There's nothing anyone can do about that. Brendan Erinson, I am such a big fan of Brendan Erinson, because today and the game against Mexico, he didn't necessarily play exceptionally well, but his work rate just makes it seem like he plays so well because he's always around the ball. He works so hard. He sprints at goalies, he sprints at center backs, he sprints at outside backs, he sprints at outside mids. He sprints at literally everyone to try to win the ball back, and that is invaluable. Yeah, Walker Zimmerman. This is the next thing that I noted. Walker Zimmerman may be the most improved player in this pool. I think by far, because I've noticed, obviously there's the memes out there that Zimmerman does not, lose an aerial duel, which is honestly true. Like, he does not lose an aerial duel unless he's fouled. And even he's fouled sometimes and he wins the aerial duels. He's so good in the air, and he's much better at distribution out of the back than he was when he first came and played for the national team. He has kind of gotten rid of his I don't know, I guess MLS tendencies, you can call them. I know people will probably be mad at me that I'm calling them MLS tendencies because, the MLS stands are here. MLS is a good league, but it still needs improvement because you see center backs just clearing it when they could be passing and developing out of the back. And although Walker Zimmerman has always been a good defender as a center back, when he first came into the national team, he would just look for long balls all the time and just clear out the field. And I've noticed he's gotten much better at that. So Walker Zimmerman for me is the most improved player for the national team so far. I did note that the pitch has played a pretty significant factor in this game. But at the same time, like that, you knew that coming in. So, there's nothing really that can, be happen. 39th minute, Chris Richards get lucky. For me, that's a handball. He's leaning into the ball with it hit his close to his shoulder, but he's leaning into the ball. That's for me a handball. Excuse me. So I think he got lucky. Some people are saying that he's fine. That's not a handball. If I'm a ref, I'm gonna give that. So I think that's lucky for us and for him. Erinson got beat up in the first half and the second half. He just gets beat up every time because he shields the ball really well. And he's shifty. So people have to lunge on tackles. Don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing him to Pulisic because Pulisic is definitely better than Erinson, but he has a similar play style. He's shifty. He's quick. So defenders are lunging into tackles. And that is why Pulisic has been semi injury prone, just because he is a player that gets fouled a lot, and Erinson's the same way. So I'm hoping that Erinson doesn't fall in the injury issues that Pulisic has faced in the past. All right, so moving to the second half, not a great start to the second half. Fine. 53rd minute was sloppy by the U.S. Oh, Jamaica should have equalized. Yes. Bobby Reed skied the shot from 3 yards away. I don't understand that. That's like something you see when you're playing with your friends. They don't play soccer at recess when they sky it from how are you a professional soccer player and don't put that away? I'm obviously not complaining because that saved us a point. Saved us a point. Midfielders, I thought for the US need to be smarter on the ball. Get the ball off your foot quicker, giving the ball up way too often in the midfield. So I think that Adams wasn't terrible with this. He didn't give the ball away much because he wasn't necessarily carrying the ball up the field all that much, which Busio and Eunice did. Eunice loves to carry the ball forward up the field, and normally I love it, but the pitch just wasn't agreeing with him tonight, and lots of times he would try to carry it forward and it would get stuck on the pitch, or it's stuck whatever, his feet would get tangled up in the the divots or whatever. So I kind of wished Eunice had seen that and then adjusted his game, because there's lots of times where he had the ball taken off him because of that fact, where in the past he has gone the full 90 minutes and basically taken the ball up 15 times without ever losing the ball. So whatever, but game's over now. But I think that when you're playing on a field like that, you need to be more careful when you're bringing the ball upfield. Just mentioned kind of again, Anthony Robinson looked very poor all game. Ricardo Pepi could be so insanely good if his first touch was just better. Because although he was playing well in the beginning of the first half with his hold-up play, he was doing, all the right things, but wow, he could be so unbelievably good if he could have a first touch, because lots of times his first touch, lets him down and he loses the ball or he makes a bad pass because, but if he was just, that first touch was a little bit better, he's a little sharper with his movements, with his passes, I should say, with his touches, he could be, oh my goodness. And honestly, this past window may hurt his stock for him trying to make a move to Europe, because FC Dallas didn't make MLS playoffs. And so he's not going to play again until I guess he probably will get called into the December camp. But in reality, he'll train, obviously, but he's not going to play a game until December, most likely. 58th minute until like the 66th minute, USA were actually playing well. They had a couple nice opportunities, putting the ball into the box, kind of forcing Jamaica in uncomfortable situations. Then when Pulisic and Acosta came on, it kind of just went back to how they were playing before, which I don't think has anything to do with either player, because neither player played poorly when they came on. But I think maybe it could have just been a momentum thing. They just kept going and going. But when they take that break, I don't know. You don't really know. It could have just been just random. But basically, once Pulisic came on, they kind of just stopped playing stopped playing good, I should say. 66th minute, Pulisic and Acosta on, Musa and Weah off. Definitely surprised. I was definitely surprised with Musa, being taken off and not Busio, because I think Busio did play slightly better than Busio, but ultimately it's fine. I get it. Like, you have to take off one of them. Maybe you're trying to give Busio more experience, so I guess it makes sense. Erinson and Weah both were playing well. For players on the field, they were probably playing two of them were probably the best players on the field at the time. So if you're gonna have to take out one of them, either one would be fine. I probably would have taken out Erinson, but I understand like the work rate's there, so it's kind of hard to say to take Erinson off. 71st minute, good chance from Antonio. Stefan came up big, stayed big, and then nothing really came out of it. But Jamaica basically looked really good ever since Pulisic came on until probably Erinson came off. They had a stretch of maybe like 8 minutes where they were, really capitalizing on USA's mistakes and just playing exceptionally well, I thought. Erinson off, Pepi off, Areola and Ferreira on. Not sure why for Erinson. I don't really think Areola needed to come on. Erinson was still playing well. He didn't even look necessarily gassed. Pepi makes more sense because he didn't really play that well. But yeah. I was starting to get scared we wouldn't win at like when Erinson came off, because Areola just doesn't have that, spark, I guess you could call it. I don't really know. It's just frustrating. But yeah, 84th minute is the last thing I noted for the second half. Jamaica nearly scored a goal, but it was overturned because of a foul. Honestly, could have gone either way. Could be called a foul, could be not. So we got lucky. We got fortunate in that sense. So just kind of a couple things. I'll just run through them quickly. Post game, obviously, not to be completely obvious, but we need to be so much better. We need to be more consistent We need to be able to play 2 games in a row without one of them being poor or very average. So that's what I gotta say. Honestly, got very lucky getting 1 point. We should have lost the game. Missed McKinney. As many people like to claim that McKinney's not that good, which I don't understand why. The U.S. men's national team fan base was really saying that McKinney didn't deserve to start after he got suspended, and I don't understand why, because I've always been a big supporter of McKinney. I think he's high energy. He loves playing for the men's national team, so whatever. We definitely missed him. We need more depth. I don't know who or what, but having Pulisic be full strength and Reyna will help with that, because then we, instead of, let's just say in January, the game we start with Pulisic on the left, Reyna on the right, then our 2 subs are Erinson and Weah. And that is significantly better than Areola as a sub off the bench. Obviously Pulisic sub for on the wing is great, but he's not 100% fitness wise, and hopefully in 2 months, it's like 2.5 months basically, which is really annoying that we're not going to get to see this group of guys. Obviously they play in December, but it's probably going to be a mostly MLS camp, because it's a friendly and it's not during an international window. So I don't think it's during an international window, which I actually don't understand how Bosnia how that's going to work. Maybe they have, Dzeko and Pjanic are on the team, but I don't really know like what the other player situations are. If there's a Bosnian league or whatever that most of their players play in, that they'll have off. I don't really know how it works, but that'll be mostly MLS. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I think that these 2 months off, I think, will definitely allow the men's national team to regroup, hopefully get into full fitness, hopefully get everyone back, hopefully Hoppy can get back in form, hopefully Reyna can just play again because it's been so long, hopefully Pulisic can get in full health, and we see like a full strength squad, which we have not seen yet. We have not seen a full strength squad, I don't think ever, like with this group of guys, because if you think Nations League final, Adams wasn't there. If you think about, I'm trying to think, because maybe the first game, let me see, look at the lineup. Maybe the first game in the September camp, I think we were missing someone, the El Salvador game. Let's look at the lineup in that one. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't our best lineup. Oh, no. Oh, I guess technically speaking, if you consider Stefan oh right, because Pulisic didn't start that first game. That's right. Pulisic didn't start. That's why we haven't. So El Salvador is not full strength. Canada, I don't think Reyna played in Canada. Yeah, Reyna did not play against Canada. McKinney didn't play against Canada. That's when he got suspended. Honduras, McKinney didn't play. USA, Jamaica, Panama, Costa Rica, Pulisic out, and Reyna out. These Mexico game, Reyna out. Jamaica game, Pulisic played, but only half. Jamaica game, Reyna is out. So we have not had our quote unquote best possible 11. I don't think, like, that I can remember, I don't think we've had, because Nations League, first game, Adams didn't play at all. Second game, Adams only came in partially. Yeah. Let's see. In May, we played Switzerland, which that's a friendly, but I'm trying to think if we had full strength. Pulisic didn't play against Switzerland. He didn't start or play. I don't know what his deal was against Switzerland. I don't really remember. That was also the era of Jackson Ewell, which, we don't have to talk about that. Northern Ireland versus USA. I know if you're still listening, I appreciate you because this is turning pretty long for just about no reason. Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wes McKinney didn't play, and Tyler Adams didn't play. Jamaica game. All right, you guys get the point. I'm not going to keep talking, but to my knowledge, we haven't had a full strength squad ever, basically, with this group of guys. So I'm very curious and hoping we can have a full strength squad for the January camp / and beginning of February camp. All right, well, thank you so much for listening. I'm your host, Nate, and I will talk to you next time.